2.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Spooky AF production.
All right, we gotta learn how to use these cameras if we're gonna be filming the next few nights.
I know how to work a camera. No promises. I read about a girl going missing here like 60 years ago. This place is insane. There's no power. Let's check out this creepy ass house. I'm gonna be honest, I don't feel good about this.
House on Eden. Okay, we gotta talk about this one. So I heard about this movie a couple months ago, and I was like, okay, this looks interesting. Little Blair Witch, but maybe like some grave encounters in there. Okay, like maybe this will be interesting. Maybe this will be worth the time. And then it came out on Shudder not too long ago, and I said, oh yeah, that movie. And so I decided to give it a watch. And holy crap, do I hate myself for that. Okay. So this movie, we have these three I'm guessing friends. I'll get into that in a sec. But I believe friends, or as I think the film calls them, friends. They have this paranormal investigation type thing that they're doing, like for like YouTube and stuff like that. And instead of going to this one spot, one of them, the lead, it's Kris, Celina, and Jay. And Jay's the cameraman. Kris and Celina, they're kind of the hosts. But Kris decides while they were doing all the research for this one spot, she's just like, oh, there's this one house, there's like all this, but that'll be a super dope video. And then they're just like, really? And they're like, come on, do it for the views. And so then they just say, all right, for her to shut up, we'll do it. So they go to this house, and it's in the middle of the woods. It's like deep into the woods. There's nobody there. And just some stuff starts to happen. I mean some, because it's very little. So, all right. This, I didn't like. I didn't like this at all. And the main problem I had was the fact that you don't like any of these people. Mainly the lead, Kris. You just hate her. Because she's just like this super just bossy diva. And I'm like, why the fuck are you guys working with her? Like, why? And there's even a spot where they say like, yeah, in 10 years, like she's never like talked to me this way. And like, I find that hard to believe, actually. I find that really hard to believe. So I'm thinking, why are any of you friends? And that's just, it felt very Blair Witch. Where with Blair Witch, I was going, okay, there's history between these people. I mean, it was Heather, Josh, and Mike. It was implied that Heather and Josh were lovers at one point. Now they're exes. And Mike is Josh's friend. And Heather and Mike have never met. So it's kind of like all right, well, they're kind of strangers, kind of. This, it's like, it's implied that they're all friends, but I'm like, no, I don't believe that shit. I just don't. And this rips off a lot of different found footage horror films, from Paranormal Activity to Blair Witch Project to Grave Encounters to Wreck. I can keep going. I can just keep going. And this just sucks. This just really sucks. You really just don't care about anybody in this movie at all. And they're in this predicament because they want to make a really cool video, and the lead, Kris, only cares about that. Really, the only thing that I can say is good about this is the fact that it's short. Like, it's barely even an hour and 20 minutes. So they had just enough to get it to feature length. And it's just everything that I feel like they thought was like, ooh, this is going to be like super creepy. It's not, because we've seen it in so many other things and they've done it so much better. Like, you know, stuff from, you know, Paranormal Activity. Now, you may like those movies, you may not like those movies, but at times they were effective. Something like Grave Encounters. Grave Encounters, honestly, I think that one's pretty underrated. I don't think it's bad, because they take that, you know, like that Ghost Adventures formula, like oh, we're going inside this house, like they're making a show of it, and then they start encountering some real stuff and they don't know what to do. So it's kind of like that. All right, I like that twist on it. Or even something like Wreck, where with that movie, what that did was, you know, you had this, you know, this late night reporter just doing a story, and then they go, you know, doing a story about, you know, firefighters, then they go to this building and just shit happens. But you actually do care, because they're actually making, I mean, and Wreck, they're actually making decisions that you're like, I don't know what I would do in that situation, but I think what they are doing is smart. It's backfiring on them pretty hard, but, you know, it makes sense. I get it. Grave Encounters, you may not like some of the things they do, but, you know, they just don't know what to do. Or something like Paranormal Activity, where with that one, especially with the first one, it's just like, you're kind of making this worse because you're filming it and provoking it to do stuff. Where with this is kind of the same thing. It's the same thing as that, where it's like, it's honestly like you're going to a graveyard and you're stomping on the tombstones. You're stomping on the graves and stuff because you're like, come on, you got to do something. It's like that. And it's like, what is wrong with you? Like, are you dumb? And, you know, I've seen a lot of people just bashing the crap out of this movie. Do I think it's the worst found footage movie? No. I personally think Gallows was worse. Gallows just had nothing. This had something, but very small, and it just died out extremely fast. So this, if you want a good found footage movie, I personally recommend the Paranormal Activity movies over this one. Some of them are okay. Some of them are just not good. But I personally don't think they're definitely not as bad as this. Well, except for Ghost Dimension, that movie's crap. But I don't. This is just a terrible. I don't know. This was just bad. This was just really, really bad. And a lot of it comes down to the fact that you don't care about anybody. You know, I didn't know that, you know, found footage movies were open mic nights, because this is just a wreck. This is one of those movies where it is the stereotype. It is the horror stereotype of white people doing dumb white things written all over it. Now, you know, for those who don't know, I'm white. I mean, I'm white as a ghost, but I'm not that kind of white where I go investigate that fucking noise white. Okay, screw that shit. This is just, you know, what do they, the first thing that they do, they start figuring out like, oh, we gotta investigate this. It's like, no, you get the hell out of there. Like, you dumbasses. I mean, this was just so bad, despite the production really only being 3 people involved. So it felt very like independent. So I don't want to bash on this too hard, but even independent stuff, even if you're doing stuff that's like, you know, just like a one-man band almost, you gotta be better written than this. I mean, hell, I prefer, people watch Skinamarink over this one. And that one was really only one person. That was one person doing the whole damn thing. And that one you may find boring because there is a lot of, shots of, of just looking at a wall, and then you look at a door, and then, it's a lot of like that showing kind of thing, like things are going bad instead of telling you. This one, it's kind of we're telling you this stuff. Isn't this crazy? It's like, no. And it's just like, oh my God, do you feel sympathy for us? No, get out of here. I'm now starting to think that, the woods is a place for, to get rid of just the stupidest people ever. And if that is the case, they're doing a damn good job. Something like, Blair Witch Project or like this, where it's like, yeah, you're getting rid of the stupidest people. Because, with Blair Witch Project, I had a better understanding on why they're there than this one. Because this one was just like you guys are just doing this for views. So you're that like bro kind of thing, and I don't like it. So this gets a terrible. I hated it. And will it end up on my worst of? More than likely, yes. More than likely, yes. So this is just bad. If you want a good found footage movie, there's plenty of them out there. Like Wreck, Cloverfield, like a lot of the ones I'd named, I think are just way better than this one. So I applaud them for trying, especially being a 3-person band, but this just did not work. So, bum, 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 bum.